Hello everybody, it is Gino once again from Cooking with Gino at Gino's Lair. I want you to just think about what you think of when you want a good old-fashioned restaurant style hamburger. Okay? Not just your everyday regular old McDonald's hamburger. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying, this is my recipe, so there are other places that sell this kind of burger and make this kind of burger, but this is my recipe, so I'm not copying them, although I do like the taste of most of them that I've ever had. So here's what we're going to do. Take a look over here and see if your little eyes and brain can imagine what Gino's going to whip up today. We have ground chuck. We have Swiss cheese, we have a beef cube, we have some Worcestershire sauce, we have some seasoning salt, we have some water and cornstarch, we have some onions here, we have some mushrooms, fresh button mushroom. Now, hey, these can be creminis or any kind of mushroom, but today I have just regular old white button mushrooms, and we have a nice bun here that is a poppy seed onion roll bun. Now, have you guessed yet? Have you guessed? What could it be? A mushroom Swiss burger! Oh my God, it's been a long time since I had a mushroom Swiss burger. That's what we're going to do today. So this pile of ingredients we have here is going to make us a mushroom Swiss burger. So I'll tell you what, you just stand by, let me get this thing cleared off here, and we will get to whipping this up, and I'll show you exactly how Gino does it for my family at Gino's Lair. Okay, if you'll notice over here on the stove, what we've got is about 1.5 cups of water in a pot. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to turn this on, and we're going to bring this up to a boil because we need some sort of mushroom gravy to go on top of this, okay? The good mushroom Swiss burgers have a form of gravy on it with the mushrooms in it. They don't just throw the mushrooms on there. They usually have the mushrooms seasoned in with some gravy and some spices and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our beef cube. Now this is, we're not going to add a lot of salt to this because we're adding the regular old cheap beef cube, nor whatever brand you got wherever. If you can get these little things off, and you just throw that in your water. There you go. Alright. So, when we bring that up to a rolling boil, we'll be back to you. And no, actually, we'll stay here because there's something else I got to do. I see a little heat coming off of my pan here. Okay, this is my stovetop griddle. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my little spatula out here, and I'm going to take, as I always do, anytime I'm making anything, hamburger-wise, always brown the inside of the bun. It's the way it's done in every restaurant virtually. You want a little bit of something. I've got some butter on there, and we're going to do this. Boom. There you go. Press it down just a little bit. Okay, I hear it soaking in. It should be getting a little brown on it by now. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. We'll flatten it down just a bit. And I think that's all it'll take. We'll put this on the plate over here. There you go. A nice little toast to it. The top bun should be the same way, and it is. So we'll put that back on top of it, and we'll set that aside until we need it later. In the meantime, I'll throw this away and do a little cleanup here, and we'll be right back with you in a minute when our soup/gravy base gets ready to put the mushrooms in. Alright, we're back. We have gotten our stuff over to a rolling boil over here. Our beef broth that is going to turn into a nice beef gravy for these mushrooms. Oh my God. Oh man. This just really, when I think about it, never mind. Okay, take a look. We got a rolling boil here. My cameraman doesn't get it all foggy. No, don't get it all foggy. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to throw in the mushrooms. Okay? I have mushrooms here, already sliced. We're going to throw these in so these can simmer up and get done. Sometimes I will grill them first or put them on the cooker here and then I'll put them in. But they're just fine this way. This is going to absorb all the beef flavor from that. Okay, we're going to do that. Now the one other thing we have to do, is add the Worcestershire sauce right now. So you can use any brand of Worcestershire sauce you want. I chose to make my own because I was out and somehow the storage shelf didn't have it on it, so I have a nice faux Worcestershire sauce I make of my own. I'll explain that in another video, but basically it's like soy sauce, garlic powder, ketchup, some pepper, and a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and if you mix the things in the right order, it will make a good imitation Worcestershire sauce. So I'm going to add that. Now, we give that a stir and let that simmer up for a little bit. We want to let those simmer while I'm cooking the burger, and let them soak up some of that juice, and it won't take 5 or 10 minutes and they'll be ready. So, we'll get rid of this. We will lift the spoon and have it over here, because in a few minutes what we got to do after that simmers up, then we got to thicken it. What do we have to thicken it? I told you earlier, cornstarch and water. We're probably not going to add all of this because we don't want it very, very thick when we put it on there. But what we'll do at that point in time is stir up the cornstarch and then add it to our gravy, and it will thicken. So I'm going to put that over here. In the meantime, what I'm going to do, I'm going to scoot this out of the way. We're going to open up our ground chuck because it's fairly lean. Let's see what this is. This is 80/20. This is 80/20 ground chuck, so there's very little fat in this. It's going to be very little grease in this. So it's going to be very, very easy to work with. So I'm going to take out about 1/3 of a pound, because I don't know if you know this, but McDonald's and all of them, they start out with 1/4 pound patties, and those things are like that thick and that big, and then they freeze them and all of that stuff, and you know, that's something totally different. But what we're going to do is we're going to pat our own patty out. It's going to be about that thick to start, and it's going to be a little bit bigger than the bun. So when we get ready to use it, we ought to have a really good burger on here. So here's what we're going to do. Well, first, hold on. Before I even do that, let's go one step further. I need a little bit of oil over here. A little bit of oil on my griddle, because I've got some onions here that I'm going to put on this too. A lot of places don't do it, but I'm gonna, because it's my kitchen. Alright? So what we're going to do is put some onion slices on there, and we're going to get those exactly the way we want them. So going to take our spatula, flatten these out a little bit. We're going to brown them up just a little bit. We got a little oil in there. Might need a little bit more. Might need a little bit more because I need them to cook. Whoa, we might get popped. We do want them to take a little brownness to them though. We want to separate them as we go because we're going to put this on there. It's not going to be, it's going to be in little rings kind of, but they're going to be nice and cooked. Don't want to burn them. We want them to be a little toasty. I'm going to turn on a little bit of alright. So I will actually do this without fast jerking motion. Slowly turn that. Ooh, we got some trying to get away over here. Get them back up on the griddle. Because when I put onions on things, I don't always like them fresh out of the ground onions. I like a browned onion. It gives it a totally different caramelized flavor and texture. Okay. We'll let this go for a minute or two. Now what I'll do is I will go over here and I will start to thicken up my sauce with the mushrooms. If you look over here, they have cooked, and I think they're pretty much cooked all the way through. And we're going to add a little bit at a time of the cornstarch and get it to thicken. I don't want to thicken it too much, but this stuff will thicken quickly. So I don't want too much, and I don't want it to be clumpy either. So I'll add 3 or 4 teaspoons, maybe 5 of that, and let it heat back up. Don't want it to burn. Let it go for just a minute, and then we'll check back on that in a second while we continue to take care of our onions. We don't want them totally burned up. We want them to brown, so we have to keep flipping them, and we want them to separate there. Looks like that's not thickening up enough, so I'll go ahead and add maybe half what I have in here. And there we go. It's starting to thicken now. As you can see, it's thickening up. Maybe add the rest. And remember, the whole time these things are cooking, they're soaking up all that beef-flavored juice in there. And it's going to couple with our hamburger very nicely. Alright. I think we're getting about where we need to be with these onions. Not going to use a lot of these, but I do want to use some on the burgers. Alright. So, get these bad boys out of here. Okay. Put these off to the side. We'll take our spatula there, and we'll put this in the sink for now. Get that out of the way. Alright, if you look over here, This is where I want my gravy to be, right here. You see that? That is nice and thickened and glossy and glistening. Alright? One thing we're going to do to that is we are going to add a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper to that. And that is going to be all we're going to need for that. Okay? So, we're going to turn the heat off on that and just wait till we need it. In fact, we're going to actually take it off so it doesn't continue to cook. Look at this. Look at this. And that'll, as it cools down just a little bit, it'll thicken up even more. Okay. Alright. So what are we going to do now? We're going to make our 3rd pound patty. I'm going to open up the Swiss cheese here. We'll get that out of the way. We're going to have a couple of slices on this. Okay. I'm going to take about 1/3 of a pound. I'm just going to eyeball it, okay? We're going to get it out of here. And after you do this enough, you can kind of figure out what's a 1/4 pound, what's a 1/3 pound. That is not a 1/3 a pound, it's a 1/4 of a pound. And I need more than that. So, here we go. A little bit more. Now, we're going to pat this around, pat it around, pat it around, and get it to where it'll stick together. I'll roll it out a little bit, flatten it as we go. Flatten it, flatten it, flatten it in our hand. We're going to kind of pinch it together. And we said, what did we want? We wanted it kind of thick, and we also wanted it bigger than the bun. So there we go. This is roughly 1/3 of a pound patty. I'm going to... Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to set this down here on the clean cutting board. I'm going to wash my hands. You have to add some seasoning to this patty, okay? Because there's no seasoning on it whatsoever right now. We're just going to take some regular old seasoning salt. Any brand will do. There's 100 of them on the market. It doesn't matter. And we're going to season this thoroughly, okay? Not too much. But we're going to season it thoroughly. Pat that in slightly, flip it, and season the other side. Okay, done with that. Wash the hands again. Pat that in. Now both sides are seasoned. What are we going to do now? Put the seasoning salt out of the way. We're going to slide this up on the spatula. Put it on there. Now, clean up here a little bit. And let that go. Now, I'm going to let this thing grill for about a minute. Then I'm going to press it. I'm going to sear it. They call it searing it. We're going to sear it. That means we're going to flatten it out and make it brown all over, because we want these things about 160 internal temperature. You don't want to do rare or medium rare on this, because something people don't tell you. When they make ground beef and hamburger meat, they take a whole bunch of different cuts from maybe a whole bunch of different cows that might have been sitting around. Some of it might be old meat, some of it might be new meat. I know, there are rules they're supposed to follow, but do they always? No. So you want to make sure that your hamburger is done. You don't want to get sick, okay? You do not want to get sick. So we're going to let this go until you actually start to see some of the juices come up to the top. We've already seared it. We're going to see some of the juices come up to the top, then we're going to flip it. And by the way, y'all look here at our gravy. It's thickening up. Yeah, look at that. That is so nice. In a minute, I'm going to taste that and see what other seasonings I need for my liking. In fact, I think I'm going to do that right now. It's very, very hot, so... I don't need anything. That's good. That is really good. No, I'm not going to use that one again. You thought I was, didn't you? I'm not. So I'll give me another one out here. Or when it's time to serve. Alright. So it looks like we're getting a little coming to the top. We're going to scrape under here and get that worked loose, and then we're going to flip it over. We're going to sear that again. If you notice, I'm searing pretty quickly after I flip that time. Now what we're going to let that do is just cook for a few minutes. So what we'll do is we'll be back to you in a few minutes after we've let this cook, because there's no need to just keep you on hold while that thing's cooking. Yeah, we could think of some things to talk about, and maybe we will in the future. Kind of like my little cooker box that I got. I've got some recipes, and I've really done some good recipes in that. And we'll do some more video on that. But in the meantime, we'll be back with you in a minute when we get this a little more well done. Okay, our burger over here has gotten where it is pretty much clear juices running out, so it should be cooked on both sides. So, you see what I did there? I just flipped it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some of my onions on here. Now, some places don't do it. This is just the way Gino does it. I'm going to put my onions on top of there that are already browned and cooked. Going to put them on there. Nice, nice, nice. Let them heat back up. I'm going to put 2 pieces of Swiss cheese on here. That kind of wilt down just a little bit on it. Now, what are we going to do? We got to warm our bun back up. Throw that back on there for a second or two while that is warming up. Shouldn't take long. Okay, you see that's actually starting to melt around the sides there? Oh yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to take our serving plate now. We're going to take our bun. Put that back on there. Oh, how beautiful. Move this. Whoop. That happens sometimes. So now you see it. It even happens to Gino. Get it off here. We're going to put this over here. Now this is starting to melt on there. I'm going to pull this off. Put that right on your bun. Now, what am I going to do now? A tiny bit of fresh ground black pepper. Tiny bit. Tiny bit. Right on top of that. Right on top of that. No salt, because we've got enough salt in our gravy over here. Now, what are we going to do? Oh, what are we going to do? We're going to get our gravy. We're going to stir this up. We're going to put the mushrooms on the burger. Okay. On the cheese here, the mushrooms. Yeah, it's going to be a little messy on you. I'm not going to tell you it's not. I'm going to put these mushrooms on there. However many you like. Try to drain this off first. Get those on there. Then we're going to put a little bit of this gravy over on the bun. We're going to smear that around. Really quickly, we're going to cap it. Oh. Now, what would you have with something like this? Look at this. Ooh, that is warm. Got some mushrooms down there on the side. That's okay. That's okay. We'll eat those too. What do you serve with this? Chips. Oh my goodness. Chips. You could have some French fries, have onion rings, whatever you want. But what does Gino want? Chips. Look at that. Now just take a look at that. That is a good looking burger. Let me take a look. Oh yeah. Here, get on top. Do a top view, Mr. Cameron. Top view down, get a little closer. How good does that look? That looks really good. Now, I'll put my chips away. Alright. You're waiting, aren't you? It's getting a little smoky in here. Alright. Give me one of these chips. That'll clear my palate. Clear my palate real quickly. Now we're gonna give this a try. We're gonna see if Gino's Mushroom Swiss Burger is just as good as I think it's gonna be. Better. Better. Oh, good Lord. One more. Look at that. Take a look at that. Zoom in on that. Get right down there to that bite and look at all those ingredients in there. How long have I been wanting a mushroom Swiss burger? Months. Have I got food on them? Probably. Doesn't matter. There you go. There you go. Restaurant quality, high class ingredients, made at home, by you, literally nothing involved here. You know, you just need to know how to do it. Give this one a try and see what the family thinks. And don't tell them where you got it. See how they like it. This will stack up to any, bar none, any mushroom Swiss burger you'll get anywhere. So there you go. Until next time, everybody, it's been my pleasure to be here with you, and I expect that I'll be back here with another video soon. Hope you're all doing fine, and comment on the video. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me if you make a better one, a worse one, or if this is just good for you. Try it, and then tell me what you think. And until next video, Gino is out. from Gino's Lair, and we'll see you next time. Take care.